Out here in the heart of America, a Farmall isn't just metal and paint, it's a loyal friend that's earned its keep season after season. From small garden helpers to full-size field powerhouses, these machines earned their reputation the hard way, through decades of real farm work. Today, we're counting down the 7 most reliable Farmall tractors ever built for everyday farm work, the ones that never quit, no matter the weather. And trust me, the one at number 1 will stay with you forever. Number 7. The Farmall 460. Built from 1958 to 1963, this was the machine that brought Farmall into a new era. It carried the same red spirit that made the brand famous, but under that hood, things were changing. The 460 packed about 50 horsepower, enough to pull a 4-bottom plow or run a baler all day long without breaking a sweat. For its time, that was serious muscle. What made farmers love the 460 wasn't just power, it was comfort and control. The new 10-speed transmission gave smoother shifting, better field speeds, and more flexibility for every job, from cultivating corn rows to hauling hay bales down the back road. And when you'd been on an H or M all your life, that smoother gear change felt like magic. The 460 was also available in gasoline or diesel, and many Midwest farmers went for the diesel version. It just sipped fuel and ran steady all day. That reliability meant a lot when your whole day depended on whether the tractor started up on a cold morning. Even today, you can find 460s still working, mowing, raking, or pulling wagons around family farms. They've aged, sure, but they start up with that same low, steady rumble. The kind of sound that says, let's get to work. On the collector's market, a solid, running 460 usually sells for around $3,000 to $6,000, depending on condition and attachments. But for many owners, the value isn't measured in dollars, it's in memories. Memories of a father teaching his son how to clutch smooth, or a long summer evening when the last windrow was finally baled. The 460 might not have been the biggest Farmall ever made, but it earned its place in history as the bridge between generations, strong, dependable, and proudly red. And while this tractor set the stage for what came next, the one at number 6, that little red workhorse, proved that sometimes, smaller really is stronger. Number 6. The Farmall Cub. Built from 1947 all the way to 1964, the Cub was made for small farms, vegetable patches, and those tight spaces where bigger tractors just couldn't go. It only had around 10 to 12 horsepower, but don't let that fool you, the Cub was all heart. It could plow, cultivate, mow, or pull a small wagon from sunrise to sunset without complaint. What made the Cub so special was its simplicity. A small 4-cylinder engine, easy to service with just a few wrenches, and a design so balanced, it seemed to float across the field. Many owners still say it's the easiest tractor they ever learned to drive, perfect for teaching the next generation how to handle a clutch and throttle. Another thing farmers loved was its efficiency. The Cub could run all day on just a few gallons of gas. That meant more work done, less money burned, and back in the 1950s, that mattered. It was the go-to machine for mowing ditches, tending gardens, or keeping the barnyard in shape. Even today, you'll still find Cubs in action, trimming grass, towing small trailers, or just proudly parked at tractor shows with that familiar bright red shine. They might be over 60 years old, but they start up like they've been waiting all winter just for one more run. On today's collector market, a well-running Farmall Cub usually sells for around $2,000 to $4,000, sometimes more if it's been restored or comes with original implements. But for most owners, the real worth isn't in the price tag. It's in the memories, the smell of fresh, cut hay, the sound of that little engine chugging steady down the lane, the feeling of sitting on the same seat your granddad once did. The Farmall Cub proved that you don't need to be big to be dependable. It's the kind of tractor that earns respect quietly, through years of honest work, one small field at a time. It's the symbol of what makes Farmall so loved, reliable, practical, and built to last longer than anyone ever expected. But as strong as this little Cub is, the tractor waiting at number 5 brought a new shape, a new idea, and a whole lot of heart. Number 5, the Farmall B. This was the tractor that carried America through the late 30s and the war years, a time when every acre and every harvest mattered. Built from 1939 to 1947, the B wasn't just another machine, it was a trusted partner in a world learning to grow again. The Farmall B shared much of its heart with the Model A, same dependable engine, same simple design, but with one clever twist. Its offset seat and narrow frame gave the operator a perfect view of the rows. You could cultivate corn, beans, or potatoes with precision, seeing every plant as you moved. It was practical, smart, and ahead of its time. Under the hood, the B carried around 20 horsepower, just enough for small and mid-sized farms. It could plow, rake, or pull wagons with steady confidence. And like every true Farmall, it was built to be easy to fix, simple parts, sturdy steel, no nonsense. A few hand tools, a little grease, and it was ready for another season. For many farmers, the Farmall B was their first tractor. It replaced the horses, changed the rhythm of work, and gave families a chance to do more with less. Men and women who'd worked behind a plow for years suddenly found themselves driving and smiling because the B made it easier. Its compact size also meant it fit anywhere, between barns, down narrow paths, or alongside the chicken coop. That made it ideal for small mixed farms across the Midwest, where you needed one machine that could do a little bit of everything. Today, a well-kept Farmall B can still be found for around $2,500 to $5,000, depending on condition. Some have been repainted and shine like new, others wear their rust like a badge of honor. And when that old four-cylinder engine fires up, it still has that same steady rhythm, the sound of another workday beginning. The Farmall B may not have been the biggest or the flashiest, but it was honest, dependable, and built from pure American grit. It proved that reliability isn't about size, it's about heart. And speaking of heart, the tractor waiting at number 4 carried that same spirit, but with a brand new idea that changed Farmall forever. Number 4, the Farmall Super A. When it first rolled off the line in 1947, it looked familiar, that same classic red paint, that same dependable size, but under the surface, something truly new was waiting. The Super A was the first small Farmall to feature a full hydraulic system, known as touch control. For farmers used to cranking and lifting implements by hand, this was nothing short of a revolution. With the pull of a lever, you could raise or lower your cultivator, adjust your plow depth, or shift a mower, all without leaving the seat. On long summer days, that made a world of difference. Packing about 16 horsepower, the Super A wasn't built to outmuscle the big tractors, it was designed to do everyday work efficiently. It could plow gardens, cultivate row crops, haul wagons, or mow the pasture behind the barn. Many families used it for nearly everything, from planting to harvest, and even snow removal in the winter. Farmers loved the Super A because it was reliable, versatile, and easy to live with. Its 4-cylinder gas engine started smooth, even on chilly mornings. The parts were simple, easy to find, and still are today, which is why so many Super A's are still running strong across the Midwest. The design was comfortable too, the offset seat gave great visibility, and the steering was light. It was the kind of tractor anyone could handle, young or old. Plenty of kids learned to drive on a Super A, sitting beside a father or grandfather who'd say, "Easy on the clutch, let her roll." On today's collector market, a good running Super A usually brings $3,000 to $6,000, sometimes more if it's been restored with care. But you can still find them out there working, plowing gardens, cutting grass, or just waiting patiently in the barn for another day's job. There's a certain pride that comes with a Super A, the kind that only comes from a machine that's been part of the family. Its engine note is soft but steady, like it's saying, "I've got this." And after all these years, it still does. The Super A marked a turning point for Farmall, showing that small tractors could be smart, powerful, and incredibly dependable all at once. But as good as it was, the tractor waiting at number 3 would take that same reliability and scale it up into a true Midwest workhorse. Number 3, the Farmall H. If you ask any old-timer from the Midwest which machine kept their family farm running through the 1940s and 50s, chances are they'll smile and say, The H. Introduced in 1939, the Farmall H was designed to be the perfect mid-sized workhorse, strong enough for real field work, yet light and simple enough for everyday chores. It delivered around 26 horsepower, which made it ideal for everything from plowing and planting to running the baler or hauling wagons at harvest. What made the H so beloved was its balance. It wasn't fancy, but it was steady, dependable to its core. Its four-cylinder engine ran smooth and quiet, with a gentle rumble that became the soundtrack of rural America for more than a decade. And when something did need fixing, every farmer could do it themselves: a couple of wrenches, a grease gun, and a little know-how. The H was also efficient, using less fuel than many of its competitors while working just as hard. It was the tractor that didn't complain, just kept moving forward, one row at a time. Rain or shine, spring or harvest, it was always ready to go when you were. For a lot of farm families, the H wasn't just a tool, it was part of the family. Kids learned to drive on it. Fathers and sons tuned the carburetor together on Sunday afternoons. And when you see one sitting under a barn lean-to today, paint faded, tires cracked, you can still feel the pride it once carried. On the collector's market, a good running Farmall H often sells for $2,500 to $5,000, depending on condition. But you'll find many still out there earning their keep, pulling wagons, mowing fields, or showing up at county fairs, still proud to wear that red paint. More than 390,000 units were built, making it one of the most successful tractors Farmall ever produced. And that alone tells the story: millions of acres tilled, countless crops harvested, and generations of farmers who trusted their H more than anything else on the farm. The Farmall H wasn't just reliable, it was loyal. It worked hard, day after day, with a quiet confidence that came to define Farmall itself. But as strong and steady as the H was, the tractor waiting at number 2 took everything good about it, and made it even stronger, even tougher, and even more unforgettable. Number 2, the Farmall M. If the H was the heart of American farming, then the M was its backbone: stronger, tougher, built to take on the big jobs and never back down. Produced from 1939 through 1954, the Farmall M delivered about 36 horsepower in its early years, and even more in the later Super M and MTA models. For its time, that was serious pulling power, enough to run a 3-bottom plow or power a large baler without breaking a sweat. This was the tractor that could handle wide, open fields from sunup to sundown, and still have power to spare. The M earned its reputation for being virtually indestructible. The transmission was built heavy, the gears thick and strong, and the frame solid enough to handle decades of work. Ask any farmer who owned one, and they'll tell you, you couldn't wear an M out if you tried. It wasn't just strong, though, it was practical. The M was simple to maintain, easy to service, and forgiving to operate. A few basic tools, a can of oil, and it'd run another season without complaint. Its big rear tires gripped the soil, the clutch felt sure, and the steering was surprisingly light for a machine of its size. Many families used the M for everything: plowing, cultivating, baling hay, hauling wagons, even running threshers and sawmills off the belt pulley. It was the all-day, everyday tractor, the kind you trusted when the crop had to come in and the weather was turning. And the sound, that deep, throaty idle of an M on a quiet summer evening, it's the sound that still echoes through farm shows and county fairs today. It's more than nostalgia, it's the heartbeat of the past still running strong. On today's market, a good running Farmall M will often bring $3,000 to $6,000, while a beautifully restored Super M or MTA can go for much more. But truth be told, most folks who own one wouldn't sell it for any price. Because for them, it's not just a tractor, it's a memory. A reminder of long days, dusty fields, and hard work that built something real. The Farmall M wasn't fancy. It didn't need to be. It was strong, honest, and loyal, everything a farmer ever asked for. It stood for a way of life, one built on sweat, soil, and pride. But as mighty as the M was, the tractor waiting at number 1 took Farmall's legacy of power and reliability and carried it straight into the modern age. Number 1, the Farmall 706. Built between 1963 and 1967, the 706 was where old-school toughness met the dawn of modern comfort and performance. It packed a punch, over 70 horsepower, more than enough for plowing, baling, and heavy field work. But what made it special wasn't just power, it was how it delivered that power. The 706 offered both gasoline and diesel options, with the legendary German-built D310 diesel earning a name for dependability. That engine would start on cold mornings when others refused to, and once it fired up, it would run smooth all day long. Many owners still say that engine was nearly bulletproof, a true workhorse that outlived its era. But beyond the engine, the 706 was built for comfort and control. The new deluxe operator station gave farmers something they hadn't really experienced before, a seat that actually cushioned, levers that moved smooth, and controls laid out where they made sense. It sounds simple now, but back then, it felt revolutionary. You could spend 10 hours in the seat and still feel like coming back tomorrow. Underneath that sleek red body, everything was made to last: a strong cast iron rear end, a rugged transmission, and Farmall's reliable torque amplifier that gave operators the flexibility to shift on the go without grinding gears. Whether you were pulling a 5-bottom plow or running a hay chopper, the 706 handled it with steady power and calm confidence. And then there's the look: tall, proud, painted in that deep Farmall red with clean modern lines. It looked every bit as strong as it was. Even today, when one rolls by at a tractor show, folks stop, smile, and nod, like they're seeing an old friend who never aged a day. On today's market, a solid working 706 will fetch $6,000 to $10,000, while a restored diesel model can easily bring more. But truthfully, most owners aren't selling. They're still using them or passing them down to their kids, because these tractors don't just run, they endure. For many farmers, the 706 represents a bridge from the classic Farmall tradition to the modern age of horsepower and comfort. It proved that reliability didn't have to stay stuck in the past. It could evolve, grow stronger, and keep on working for decades to come. The Farmall 706 wasn't just another tractor. It was a statement that even as farming changed, the spirit of hard work, pride, and dependability would never fade. And that's why, when we talk about the most reliable Farmall tractors ever built, there's no doubt which one sits proudly at the top of the list. The Farmall 706, a true legend of the American farm. And there you have it, 7 Farmall tractors that have stood the test of time. From the tiniest Cub to the mighty 706, each one tells a story of hard work, resilience, and quiet reliability. These machines aren't just metal and engines, they carry the spirit of the farmers who trusted them, day after day, season after season. Which of these tractors holds a special place in your heart, or maybe still works on your farm today? Drop a comment below and share your story. And if you love celebrating the machines that built American farms, don't forget to subscribe, because the legacy of hard work and honest engineering is a story worth keeping alive.